And in fact, you were at that conference last September, but what you didn't see is the day of rehearsal before the night, opening night, I had every musician and singer in a room because I felt the Holy Spirit take me to Malachi and say, some of them are bringing tainted, lame sacrifices to the altar, and we will not have that. And there was sin in the camp, and there were issues of the heart. And I said, we will not allow you to be on that stage this week until we purify and bring to the Father the sacrifice and the worship that he deserves. And everyone was prostrate on the floor in the hidden, dealing with their crap. And therefore, what you got to experience was the overflow of pure hands and clean hearts. And I was ready to scrap the lot of them. I was like, guys, we don't play with the presence of God. We are under grace in the new covenant. But if you brought what you have inside of you in the Old Testament, you'd be struck dead in the Holy of Holies. So don't ever take it for granted. Let's clean our hearts. And it takes a leader that can sense and discern, but isn't going to overlook and go there. Truth in love, true discipleship is, hey, like Jesus, he would always go, I don't like that attitude. Where's your faith? But then he would bring them up. So there's truth in love, but there's a taking them to something that then produces this beautiful, pure sound of worship. And I think it's very necessary in the church.
I love that. I just feel like I want to tell people listening, like, it is such a unique environment, like being at the belonging and experience the worship. And, like it's visually, it was engaging and musically it was engaging, but the presence of God. And you know what else stood out to me is there was a sense that you weren't in a hurry.
Yes.
It's like, hey, we're not in a hurry right now. And conferences are great because it affords that. But even I think in your gatherings on Sunday, there's a sense of like, hey, God sets the timeline here. And this idea of the presence of God and bringing to people the presence of God, that can sometimes sound, maybe for different people that has different connotations. Yeah. I just would love to hear you talk. It's such a deep passion for you. When you talk about in your personal life, cultivating just that journey with the presence of the Holy Spirit, and then in gatherings, just, help us unpack that a little bit more for people listening, saying, maybe I want that, but I don't know what that even looks like.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have always asked us, why does it feel different? Why is it that when we come into your church or you come to your conference, you feel the tangible presence of Holy Spirit? And I said, well, number one, it has to be an overflow of what's happening in you individually. So I can't not cultivate that personally and think it's just going to turn up corporately. And I think a lot of people think it's this thing that the Holy Spirit just turns on like a tap and then turns off when we leave. And it's actually an overflow of what's already taken place in mine and, say, Henry's life.